Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a little bit of short-term technical analysis on Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency markets, because in today's video, I want to talk about this little bearish dive that Bitcoin has taken and what this might mean for Bitcoin, because I've discussed in the last several videos about how it may be very bad if Bitcoin returns to this uptrend of support that it's been eyeing down here for so long. If Bitcoin goes back down there, there's a decent chance it's going to break it, and if Bitcoin breaks that, there's a decent chance that very bad things are going to happen. I've talked about that several times here on the channel, and we're going to talk about it once again because it seems like the next domino has fallen in the step in the path towards that, since Bitcoin has just broken bearish. So we're going to be doing some technical analysis on that in today's video. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, definitely consider dropping a like, hitting that subscribe button, and smashing that notification bell, guys. It does help out the channel if you do that, and I would be appreciative if you did it. But one more thing before we get right into it. Starting today and moving on through Friday, a new video is going to be launching in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy every single day, and the video that is going live today is actually an introduction to candlestick analysis, because we have over 6 hours of content across 20 videos in the course right now. Of course, that's going to be increasing to about 8 hours of content and 25 videos over the next couple of days, really up until Friday. But I don't have any videos just yet on candlestick analysis. So in this video, the video that's going live today, we have 7 candlestick patterns. As you can see, one of them is the hammer down here that we'll be analyzing. Very good video. I'm very happy with this video. So if you guys are interested in joining the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, there's a 20% off coupon code that'll be active for the duration of this week in the description down below. Anyway, now actually without much further ado, let's go ahead and get on into the video. Bitcoin at the time of recording this video is trading around $3,836 and some change, and is moving to the downside. As we can see, Bitcoin was initially in a consolidation pattern after breaking bearish over here, and then we broke bearish and barred it right back up. Started moving to the upside. This looked like a rather bullish pattern. Of course, Bitcoin was moving to the upside. It was gaining volatility, interestingly enough. You don't see that pattern very often, and as you can see, the volume was kind of dropping off, but it was mostly just staying stagnant. Not really a pattern that you see very often, so I didn't really do a whole lot of technical analysis on this. While Bitcoin was in this pattern, I was doing some more longer term technical analysis because I figured you guys would get more value out of that than me trying to predict a weird pattern like this. But it turns out Bitcoin has gone ahead and broken bearish. As you can see, we bounced off of this uptrend of support one last time and came back through and broke below it last night, and Bitcoin is currently headed towards the downside. Now, there are some levels of support on Bitcoin, and there are some bearish indicators on Bitcoin, but I want to tell you guys before we even get into all of that what my prediction for this market is. I think Bitcoin is going to keep moving to the downside and fill out this longer term consolidation pattern right here. We have a downtrend that has now been established right here ever since Bitcoin broke bearish. We can now definitively call this the downtrend that Bitcoin is under, and we of course have this downtrend of support right here that Bitcoin is garnering support on. And this downtrend, this downtrending pennant actually is what it would be, is moving to the downside, is moving down here towards this uptrend of support that we've been looking at. And like I said earlier on in the video, and like I've said in many other videos, I'm concerned about what happens when Bitcoin comes down here and tests this uptrend of support, because I give it a very high percentage chance at this point that Bitcoin is going to fill out this pennant and move down here to the downside and fill out that pennant and come down here and test that level of support. Like I've said in many videos, I'm concerned about what happens there, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. For right now, let's keep doing some more shorter term technical analysis and try and talk about how Bitcoin is going to fill out this pennant, because I'm pretty sure that it's going to. Bitcoin has just broken bearish. If Bitcoin was going to break bullish, then it probably would have in the last couple of days. That's my motto on a lot of these things. Bitcoin broke bearish. If Bitcoin was going to break bullish, then it probably would have. This pattern started around 8 or 9 o'clock last night on Eastern Standard Time. So it's not like this happened deep in the middle of the night. I mean, we did see the break here at about 1 a.m., so about midnight to 1 a.m. So it did happen later on during the night. But I personally know a lot of people that trade late at night like that. It's around the like 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. that you want to be careful of breaks, and this didn't happen quite around that time. You want to look out for those, but this happened around a time where I wouldn't exactly go and invalidate this movement and invalidate the bearish strength just because of the time period. Sometimes you'll say, okay, well, Bitcoin broke bearish at 5 a.m. on a Sunday in America, and all of America was asleep. Europe was doing whatever Europe's doing, you know, arguing about Brexit or something. They weren't important. The entire market wasn't paying attention, then Bitcoin broke bearish. So you might discount that. You might say, okay, well, the bears aren't that strong. It just happened that they got their chance while Bitcoin was kind of undefended by the bulls. I wouldn't say this is one of those scenarios. I think this is an actual display of the bearish strength right now. And I've talked about that in the last couple of videos as well. The last 2 or 3 videos over the last month or so, Bitcoin was rallying pretty strongly here in February. It was looking very healthy. Bitcoin was doing very well, but unfortunately, this downtrending level of resistance right here got us, and we fell back below it and did not manage to break above it. We ran all the way up here to close to the answer to the life, universe, and everything, plus or times 100, 4,200. Sorry for the terrible reference there. Bitcoin fell below that and started moving to the downside, and I talked about how in this time period, Bitcoin's momentum was shifting from bullish momentum to bearish momentum. And momentum is very important. We actually have a video on that in CT2A. We talk about the strength of the bulls and the bears right over here. Bull and bear markets, and then we have the strength of the bulls and the bears, gauging the strength of the bulls and the bears. That's an 18-minute video. It's a very important concept. That's why it's actually 2 videos in that course. It's very important that you understand who's in control, because the way I like to look at markets is it's a war between the bulls and the bears. You have the bulls fighting it out with the bears, and they're duking it out. You know, they're just going to town over here. They're fighting it out. And that shows up on the shorts and the longs charts, which we'll be looking at in a second. But if you kind of analyze the market like that, it's not a perfect analogy, but if you look at it as a war between the bulls and the bears, then it starts to become a lot more obvious how all of these different layers of cycles are going on. That's another thing we talk about in a video that's coming out in CT2A in the next couple of videos, is the different layers of cycles that are going on in markets. And if you can understand all of them based on the strength of the bulls and the bears, you'll be much better at predicting what the market is going to do. And the reason I go into all of this is because Bitcoin was very bullish here in February, and we had that turning point. Right over here, Bitcoin turned from bullish to bearish, and I don't think the bears are done yet. I think the bears are going to keep on running, and the reason I say that has a lot to do with my gut feeling. It has a lot to do with the strength of the bulls and the bears, and it has a lot to do with technical indicators. So let's go ahead and dive into those technical indicators. One of the indicators I want to show you guys is out here on the daily chart. That would, of course, be the daily MACD. You guys know I'm a big fan of the MACD. We have a video on that in the course, in fact. Very powerful indicator that I give a lot of strength to, especially on the daily chart, guys. Everybody looks at the daily chart. Investors look at the daily chart. Traders look at the daily chart. Sometimes even intraday traders look at the daily chart for stuff like this. What we almost saw a couple days ago was Bitcoin's MACD line. This line right here almost broke above the signal line. We almost had a bullish cross, but alas, Bitcoin broke bearish, and it was not to be. Bitcoin's MACD has reconfirmed bearishness. Now, this is not a bearish cross per se, because Bitcoin never crossed bullish in the first place, but this is what I would call a reconfirmation of bearish strength, because the bears stopped a bullish MACD cross and started pushing the bullish, the MACD line back further away from the signal line. Remember, this is the MACD line right here, and this is the signal line. When you see them cross, that's your signal. This is our histogram down here. Not going to get into all of that. There's a video on that in the course. Shameless self-promotion. Anyway, that's one of the reasons that I'd be careful about this. Another reason I want to be careful about what's going on here on the daily chart actually has to do with the daily stochastic RSI. No, I don't want to mess with the settings. Right now, as we can see, the stochastic RSI was, anyway, moving to the upside, and it was looking to be up here in overbought territory. But actually, as we can see, the stochastic RSI line is starting to curve in on itself, and we may be seeing a cross here in the next couple of days. And as I've talked about in a couple of previous videos, as I've talked about a lot recently, actually, stochastic RSI, and it's a very good indicator of when a change in a trend is going to come. That shows up very well on the weekly chart, as we discussed in a previous video. If I remember, I'll link that video on the top right. It's a very good indicator of that kind of thing. You want to watch out for when the stochastic RSI has a cross. It can give you similar signals to what the MACD can give you as well, while also combining the signals that the RSI gives you of overbought and oversold conditions. So the stochastic RSI and the MACD right now are looking slightly bearish. I wouldn't put them at like full-blown level 9 extreme crazy mode bearishness or anything. I'd put them at maybe like level 2, level 3, little bit of bearishness. You know, it could turn bullish if Bitcoin bounces, but pretty bearish. You know, that kind of not level 9 extreme bearish crazy mode. Monster truck bearishness. It's not that kind of bearishness. It's just kind of a little bearish. You do want to watch out for those, because when Bitcoin is starting to trend reversal, oftentimes you're not going to see the technical indicators go stupid bearish. You're not going to see them level 9,000 Super Saiyan bearishness. You're going to see them start to go a little bearish, and then they're gonna kind of snowball on themselves, and they'll turn extremely bearish. You see this happen on the MACD all the time. The MACD will turn a little bearish. The MACD line will curve down just a little bit, and then it starts going super bearish, or like over here, for example. A couple weeks ago, when Bitcoin was into December, Bitcoin started going a little bullish, and then went super bullish over here on the MACD line. You'll often see them kind of snowball themselves. So watch out for the MACD and the stochastic RSI over the next couple of days. Those two signals are giving me a lot of confidence that Bitcoin's going to be moving to the downside here. One thing that is a counter argument to that as well, though, because I like to show you guys both sides of the argument so you can go and use them in your own technical analysis and make your own judgments, would be one of my favorite technical indicators in all of technical analysis, the 20 exponential moving average. You guys know I am a huge fan of the 20 EMA. This thing shows up everywhere. I mean everywhere. The 20 exponential moving average is an amazing indicator of bullish and bearish rallies when you're in a bull and bear market. Right over here in the 2018 bull market, excuse me, the 2018 bear market, this wasn't a bull market unless you're shorting. Bitcoin's 20 exponential moving average was a great indicator of whether you were in an uptrend or a downtrend. Every time you crossed it, it was basically the signal that the uptrend was over or the downtrend was beginning. And right now, we've just seen Bitcoin come down on a wick and get support there, almost exactly on the 20 exponential moving average. Look at this. Bitcoin came down, and within a couple of dollars of the 20 EMA, Bitcoin garnered support down here. Really, within about $5, Bitcoin came down towards that 20 EMA and bounced. I would say that that is a definitive level of support for Bitcoin. If Bitcoin can hold that, there's a decent chance that Bitcoin breaks bullish above this downtrend that's set for itself. There's a decent chance that Bitcoin's able to rally again, but based on everything else I've said in today's video, especially the strength of the bulls and the bears and their momentum, I would be very careful about that. I would not put a lot of weight on bullish scenarios right now. I'm quite a bit more bearish than I am bullish. I'm not going to put a percentage on that, but I do expect at this point that Bitcoin is more than likely anyway going to fill out this consolidation pattern and start moving to the downside down here towards this uptrend of support. Whether or not Bitcoin breaks that, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, like I said earlier, but we'll get there. Anyway, one more thing that I wanted to talk about before wrapping the video up would have to do with the Bitcoin shorts and the Bitcoin longs chart. As we can see over here, the Bitcoin shorts and the Bitcoin longs charts, they like to oscillate. And if you guys have never seen these charts, it probably looks like something I can't say on television, on YouTube. It looks like a bit of a mess. Let's put it that way. It looks like a bit of a mess, but these charts tend to oscillate. All this is a chart reflecting the number of Bitcoin shorts there are, and the Bitcoin longs chart just reflecting the number of Bitcoin longs there are. Now, what I want to point out here is that ever since about mid-February, when Bitcoin started retracing from that previous high, that recent high up here, Bitcoin longs have been dumping. They've been jumping off a cliff. They've had a blood fall, a red waterfall, whatever you want to call it. Not been a good time for the Bitcoin longs. The Bitcoin longs have been crashing quite significantly, very hard. Bitcoin longs are down over 50% from where they started up here around 3,800, or excuse me, around 42%, not quite 50%. They're down quite a bit though. And when you see longs crash that hard, that's typically going to be indicative of some kind of crash in Bitcoin. Now, sometimes you can read that as a contrarian signal. That's up to interpretation. I don't have time to get into that in today's video, but this chart is showing quite a bit of bearishness. And the fact that we're still going bearish and Bitcoin's longs are dropping even more over the last couple of days, down about 4% over the last day, shows bearishness. Similar thing with the Bitcoin longs. The Bitcoin longs have bounced, albeit not as strongly as the Bitcoin shorts have, the Bitcoin longs have crashed, but the Bitcoin shorts have rallied about 20% in 5 days. Now, that doesn't look like a very large movement compared to everything else here, but remember, that's a 20% movement. This is a 20% movement to the downside. That's a 20% movement to the upside. It's not like we're looking at a log chart here. You got to realize a 20% movement down here doesn't look like much, but it is significant because 20%, guys. That's a 20% increase in the shorts. That's very significant. It's not one of these like 100% rallies that or 130% rallies that we've seen in the shorts before, but Bitcoin isn't quite as volatile as it was back then. What I want to point out here is whatever happens when Bitcoin comes down to these levels of support, if you want to call it that, here on the shorts chart. These three time periods right here. Let's look at what happened on the chart here. Okay, so this one happened on this little crash down here on the shorts and then subsequent rally in the shorts happened around the 13th of November. This one happened around, we'll call it the 1st of September, and we'll call that one the 1st of August. Okay, that was the 13th of November, right? Let's go back on the chart and see what happened on those days. The 13th of November, well, that's interesting. The 13th of November was the day before Bitcoin broke $6,000. Okay, all right. Well, what happened on the 1st of September? Well, the 1st of September was at the top of this rally right before Bitcoin fell over. Right before Bitcoin turned very bullish, the Bitcoin shorts started rallying after going to a very important low. Right around here on the 1st of August, that was at the very beginning of this longer-term downtrend that Bitcoin would be in for about a week and a half. So the last 3 times that Bitcoin has really had major crashes down here, down towards these levels, Bitcoin has had some kind of major crash. Whenever the Bitcoin shorts start rallying, Bitcoin crashes. Now, like I said earlier, you can read into shorts in a contrarian fashion, and there is an argument there. There is a leg to stand on there. That is a way to do it. But a lot of times when Bitcoin shorts come down to this level, down here around around 18 to 24,000 shorts, right in this kind of zone right here, right in that zone right there, normally when that happens, that's a very bearish sign for Bitcoin, especially when they start bouncing. Now, let's look at this. On the 5th of March, Bitcoin shorts started bouncing. And over here on the 5th of March, Bitcoin was, well, it was getting a little bit of bullish momentum. Not a whole lot, though. Watch out for that, because I think these Bitcoin shorts might be telling us something. I'm not predicting a gigantic crash or anything like we saw those last 3 times that I pointed out. I'm not saying Bitcoin's about to drop all the way down to $3,000 in the next 4 days. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that we are seeing a lot of bearish signals right now. I would say that the strength of the bears is firmly intact, that the strength of the bulls is firmly being suppressed right now, and it's going to take a couple weeks for the bulls to get their strength back, if they even do, before Bitcoin breaks that uptrend of support. So guys, I want you to understand that there is always a bullish scenario. There's always a case to be made for the bulls. There's always a chance that the bulls will come back and rally above this uptrend of support, that downtrend of resistance, excuse me. I got both of those terms wrong. The downtrend of resistance. There is a chance that the Bitcoin bulls will come in and break that downtrend of resistance, but I wouldn't say that it's the most likely outcome right now based on the technical analysis. And that's not even getting into the weekly chart stochastic RSI cross that we talked about in that previous video, which, by the way, has now basically happened. By next week, we will see a bearish cross on the stochastic RSI, the likes of which we have not seen in 1,000 years now. The likes of which we haven't seen in about a year, and the last time we saw it was right before the crash from all-time high back over here in December of 2017. So guys, there's a lot of there's a lot of bearishness going on right now. But I do want to draw your attention to the fact that even though the Bitcoin bears seem to be a little bit stronger than the Bitcoin bulls right now, I wouldn't give them just a level 9 monster truck, insane, extreme level of strength or anything, but I do think that they're a little bit stronger. Even though that the bears are a little bit stronger right now, I want you guys to remember that the amount of money you can make in a market is not dependent on who's in control, the bulls or the bears. The amount of money you make in a market is dependent on one thing mainly, and that is your experience in the market and your skill in the market, your ability to read the market and predict what the market will do before it actually does it. Because if you can do that, then you can buy Bitcoin and sell Bitcoin after Bitcoin moves to the upside, or short Bitcoin and then cover yourself after Bitcoin crashes and make money whenever Bitcoin goes up or down. So really your friend is volatility and volume, not the direction of the market. You can make a lot of money in a bear market and you make a lot of money in a bull market. I've talked about that in previous videos. I'll talk about that in future videos. And I think it's very important that people don't focus so much on what they invest in the cryptocurrency market, but I think the more important thing for you to invest in is yourself. You like that segue there into the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy? Well, guys, I do want to talk about this once again because there is going to be that 5-day promo going on. Check the link in the description that you can go there and you can check out everything we have to offer, guys. We've had hundreds of people join the course, and even though we have a very fair refund policy, a no questions asked 14-day refund policy, even though we have that policy, I've never had a single person refund the course. And honestly, guys, I'm very confident in this product, but that surprises me. I figured one person would have tried to refund the product. There's no questions asked. You say, hey, Jeb, I'm going to email you. I want my money back. Okay, there you go. You got your money back. No one has even done that. I'm really surprised that no one has even decided to do that. I mean, it's a great product. I'm not surprised in that aspect, but it is kind of funny that no one has decided to do that at all. Not one. I'm serious. I can show proof of that if you guys don't believe me. But anyway, guys, this video going out, Introduction to Candlestick Analysis, is one I've been wanting to have in the course for a very long time. I haven't done any videos in the course as of yet, but now this one is out on candlestick analysis. Basically, what this video covers is it covers 7 different types of candlesticks that you guys need to understand out on the daily chart and other charts that will help you to predict what the market is going to do. As you can see on the screen right now, we have the hammer candlestick. We have a couple of other ones that we talk about with the bullish and bearish engulfing candlestick types. Those are a couple of the ones that are in this video. I'm not going to show you any more because, of course, then why would you go and buy the course if I showed you the whole video? But very happy with this video, and I think you guys will get a lot of value out of it after you join the course. After you're in the course, this is a preview for me. This is what it will look like to you guys. We have all these videos. You can see the duration on them. We have videos on moving averages, Fibonacci retracement, RSI, MACD, all your technical indicators that you need. Then we have a lot more technical analysis stuff. We have risk and reward. This is a very important video. That's why it's the first one here. We have a couple of ones that I'm really, really happy with. How to plan and execute profitable trades is actually a video that was recommended to be put in the course by one of our course members. He said, hey, Jeb, well, I understand all this technical analysis stuff, but can you show me how to implement it and how to use it to make trades that are profitable and also protect myself from the market not doing something that I expected? So in this video, we have 3 different example trades and how you could have protected yourself in the moment from Bitcoin doing something you didn't expect and how you could have made a ton of money in those trades. I'm very happy with this video. It's about a 30-minute video, a lot of content there. We have a ton of other videos that we've talked about. A lot of the concepts that we've discussed in today's video, there are in-depth videos in the course here. We have one on RSI, MACD, Bollinger Bands, all these things. Guys, I'm very happy with the course, and it really does flatter me when you guys join the course. Like I said, we've had a ton of people join the course. One day, I think I had 30 people join the course. That was a ridiculous day. If you go to the community tab on the Crypto Jeb YouTube channel, there's actually a screenshot of that. That was really cool. That was about 3-4 months ago. Anyway, guys, I think I'm rambling on enough. Just remember that if you join the course, there's a 20% off coupon code. It will be in the description down below. I can't remember it off the top of my head. I think it was CT2A March. Anyway, put that in at checkout and you'll get 20% off on the course and bring the price down a little bit. I think you guys get my point, and I think you guys did enjoy this video. I hope you did anyway. I don't want to put words in your mouth. Tell me in the comment section down below what you think of this video. If you were one of the people who watched all the way through my shameless self-promotion, I have a little treat for you guys. Before you click off the video, let's think about something. How do I make everybody else who didn't watch to the end of the video feel excluded? What I want you guys to do, I want you guys to put a type of bird in the comment section down below. Now, I've done this before. I did this once before, like 6 or 7 months ago. I was very happy with it. The comment section was filled with all kinds of birds. If you watch to the end of the video, I want you guys to go down in the description, or excuse me, in the comment section, and type out the name of a bird. It can be a parakeet. It can be a parrot. It can be anything. A turkey. I don't care. An eagle. Type out the name of a bird, and let's see if we can confuse everybody who didn't watch to the end of the video. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for today's video. I do want to thank each and every single one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.